Let's see the difference between expose and ports keys in Docker Compose. Uh, for this example, I have this application. It has two containers. The first container is a MongoDB database, and it stores information about books. Okay, and the second container is the backend that establishes a connection to the MongoDB container to extract the information about books. Okay, now let me explain you what happened when you use one or when you use the ports or the expose key. In this case, I have a host. Okay, this is a representation of the computer or maybe a virtual machine. Okay, when you run the Docker Compose, you are executing all the containers. In this case, I have 1, 2, and 3 containers, and those containers are grabbed into a kind of private network. This is a service network. Okay, and if a container uses ports key, it allows communication with the host. Okay, what it means is I can open my browser and I can type localhost and the port that is specified in this key, and I'm going to get a communication. In this case, this is a MongoDB container, the same way, and we have a response here from the Mongo container. Now, if a container is using the expose key, it allows a communication with other containers, but not with the host. Okay, this communication is not going to be possible. Now, let's check my application again, and let's check this behavior. In this case, okay, I'm going to change this to use ports first. I'm going to command expose. Let's use ports. And when we use ports, we need to map between two ports, the port in the host and the port in the container. In this case, we have the same value. Okay, I'm going to run this application, and we are going to be able to access to the backend and to the Mongo container using the browser. Now it's going to start. Okay, it's running. Now let's wait for the backend, and it is. Okay, it has an endpoint, a specific endpoint to extract information about books, to get information about all the book lists. I'm going to execute this. I'm going to call, make a request to this endpoint, and as a response, we get only one record. There is a record that corresponds to one book. This is the book. This is the title, and it has another information that is not important right now, and an ID. Now, let's try the communication with the Mongo container. Okay, I'm going to use the port for Mongo, and we get a response. Okay, it works. Now, let's change the key that we use. Okay, I'm going to comment this ports and uncomment expose, and I'm going to set only one port. This for the container. Now we are going to have a communication between containers, but not between the Mongo container and the host. I'm going to run it again, and we're going to be able to get the information from books using the backend, but not using the browser. Now let's wait. Okay, this is the backend. Going to try, and we have the same information. Okay, we have a communication between containers. Now I'm going to try to establish communication with the Mongo container, and this is a information in cache. Now let's try again, and as you can see, it's not possible to establish that communication. Again, okay, it's not possible. Okay, now we have a different behavior. So that's the difference between the spouse key and the ports key.